Welcome to this edition of Speak Out here on NBC. My name is Emmanuel Tuala, and today's edition is a special one because I've got special guests, because today we are discussing Germany, and I have in the studio the German ambassador to Malawi, Her Excellency Ute Konig. Konig is a German name which simply means king. Is that so?
Yes, you're correct, Emmanuel. Thank you. Thank you very much at NBC for having us here with you today.
Thank you so much. And I have also Dr Sangare Hawa. She is the head of programs and critical services at Dream Center here in Malawi. Welcome, Dr. Hawa, to our program.
Thank you so much for having us here today.
And great to have you ladies here in our studio. For the first time, I have guests that are a lady, and not only ladies, but one of them is an ambassador to this country. And I welcome you, Your Excellency, to our program once again. As I said, we want to talk about the intervention that Germany is doing in Malawi. And of course, you're working in different areas. And one of them is in education. You've got priorities in development, priorities in different areas. But I should also say here that you came to Malawi in August 2023, yes, as an ambassador to this country. How has been the journey from 2023 to date in 2026?
No, it's been a most interesting journey because I was passing here in time in Malawi at an interesting time. We were having twice government-to-government negotiations, yeah, shaping our bilateral development cooperation. And of course, being here in a country when you have a democratic election, yeah, and also seeing a peaceful transition, yeah, that's something an ambassador will always cherish.
Yeah, yeah. I promise you will not talk about your sensitive issues that you people report on diplomatic tables. I don't want to put you into trouble, but we want to talk about issues that are developmental in nature, issues that we can benefit as Malawi, that we can see as Malawi. And before I come to you, Dr. Hawa, you've been with Dream Center for some years now. And how has been the journey at Dream Center? And one of your pillars in terms of your operations is in the areas of HIV and AIDS, cervical cancer, birth registration, and other things. How has been the journey in Malawi?
Thank you. The journey has been great. And if we take HIV/AIDS in general,
yeah,
Malawi has lighted the torch for other nations.
Is that so?
For sure. If we take, now we are speaking about elimination mother-to-child HIV transmission. Before we were speaking about prevention.
Yeah.
So as Malawi, we played a great role. And Dream started in 2005.
Yeah.
Faced with this program of preventing HIV transmission, mother to child.
Yeah.
Because that is the future of the nation.
Yeah.
We were calling it PMTCT, as I said, which is now EMTCT. Dream started with that. And many people know us, yeah, only as a HIV center.
Absolutely, because we had some great people at Dream Center then that were really talking about HIV and AIDS issues about Dream Center.
Yes. Mm. We are into HIV, but to be clear, that was just 2025, 2026 when we started with prevention, with a PMTCD. Mm. But from 2026 up to date, we are having all full HIV clinic. Yeah. But we are not only HIV center. We are disease relief through excellent and advanced means. That is the meaning of Dream. And from 2015.
Also, Dream is
disease relief through excellent and advanced means.
Wow. Okay.
That is the acronym of Dream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from 2015, we moved from only HIV to global health program, now integrating communicable and non-communicable diseases. Because I can say we have nearly won the battle against HIV. People live longer, their HIV status is okay, but they do die from other chronic diseases, like cancer, like cardiovascular diseases. And we have also some who are living with forgotten diseases, like epilepsy. We are also into breast cancer. But as much as we are working in the clinic, we are in the community where we raise awareness, clear misconceptions. Because of misconceptions, you may have the greatest staff in your clinic and all equipment, all medications. But if in the community people don't understand the need, the importance to come to the clinic,
Yeah,
it is a waste of resources.
It's useless. I'll come to you again because you have mentioned about the name forgotten diseases, and some people are saying HIV/AIDS is becoming a forgotten disease because of what you have just said. People are living longer; they can access treatment in other things. But I'm worried about children that are born with HIV and AIDS. The issue about them getting stressed, fatigued with taking the drugs. These are the people that were born with HIV. They didn't contract it in other ways. And people are saying seem to be people are forgetting this demographic, this group of people, up until when they reach colleges with pressure of work, homework, schoolwork. They are now starting to leave the drugs because they don't understand at times maybe why they're still taking this drug for the rest of their life. Can you come to me? Can you help me to understand that aspect, Doc?
Okay, thank you. So I'm surprised that with the statement, maybe, as I said, there is a misconception. There are misconceptions in the community. Otherwise, as I can say, Peace and Development Trust, which is representing a community of St. Egidio, and DREAM being the health component, we are here to complement the effort of Malawi government.
Yeah.
And as our ambassador is near me, they do support us. So the ministry has a full program, well elaborated, how to care the issue of the children born from parents living with HIV and unfortunately got the disease. We have the whole system, we have the whole program where these kids have been followed, they are followed. And we have counselors. And we have even a system how to disclose their status. We start a partial disclosure and we go forward. And among this group, we have even peer educators among them to make them understanding. You may agree with me, adults can do counseling, but youth among themselves or children among themselves, they disclose some issues that they may shy or hide to others. Yeah. So we have all these programs.
Okay.
We have a parents group, we have youth groups, and among those groups, children, we have also peer educators among them.
Okay.
When I came to Blantyre on Monday, I was brought here to visit the DREAM projects by the German CEO of our German AIDS Foundation, who came to Malawi, because the German AIDS Foundation intends to support a special program within the DREAM system that will also target youth and build up
Okay.
teen clubs to raise awareness.
and what did
we
you
were,
find?
we were shown the centers in Balaka and Blantyre, and I was very, very impressed by Dr. Hawa. That's why I suggested that we do this part of the show together. And what's really special and what was also impressing to our representative from Germany was the community outreach of the program and the way expert clients are involved in the program to do the counseling, because we all know that adherence to the medication is an issue. Otherwise, you would have resistance. And to take a pill daily for the rest of your life, it needs education, it needs communication. You need to make people aware. And the people we met at the Dream Center, both in Balaka and in Blantyre, were really showing the dedication, the passion they have for their work, which really gives a good impression, so that the German AIDS Foundation will apply for more funding to support this in the project. The German government as such, we know that HIV/AIDS is still an issue worldwide, and the German government has also contributed 1 billion euros to the Global Fund against HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. You know about this fund because Malawi was hosting the annual general meeting in November 2024 in Lilongwe, so that brought together many experts who were discussing the things that are on the mind of all the donor countries. And of course, Malawi, as Dr. Hawa rightly posed, you're a torchbearer, because you're showing what can be achieved with a long-standing, dedicated project that has support. I know, of course, that DREAM is not the only project. There are lighthouse clinics, and the government of Malawi, the Ministry of Health, has a huge setup of guidelines and treatments that are available for people in the country. But I also know that there is still stigma, still discrimination, and especially for women and for young adults, they are mostly affected from the figures we see. So they are a big target group, and Malawi is a young country, so the youth and the young people are always in the focus of German programs.
And now, talking about that, Your Excellency, because you've reminded me of your interventions that you're doing in Malawi, and one of them is with Dream Center of St. Egidio. How do you assess the assistance that you've rendered to Malawi through organizations such as these ones in terms of the service delivery and the results that you have seen?
Well, the fact that Germany is still a very reliable, committed partner to the Malawi government, and we have been so for 62 years now since independence, shows that we have trust in our Malawi partners and that the results are good, because development cooperation, that is German taxpayers' money spent on international development, so you always have to justify the success of the programs, and there are visits, there are evaluations that are done. And of course, you have to align with the government priorities in your work, because we are here as guests in your country. There are agreements, arrangements of the programs that should be supported, but you need success stories to continue. And we all know, Emmanuel, that there was Cashgate in 2014, and that of course came as a big shock to many donors, and that has of course had its effect on the programs that were done and what has been decided afterwards. As a result of Cashgate, for example, Germany, we stick very much to a project-based approach. We don't give budget support, but we have projects that are supported by the government, but also by private associations and foundations, and we have lots of German associations that help additionally to the big government programs on smaller programs that help with health clinics, with school rooms, drilling boreholes, providing also other services. So it's
But that's
a
happening.
big
But-
net
but-
of development cooperation
Your
that
Excellency-
shows that Malawi is a good partner and that people like to work together with Malawi.
Dr. Mamari, you want to say something? Dr.
Yes,
Hawa?
I want to say, I will invite you first. We are Dream Program. We are not a Dream Center. We are a program.
Yeah, well, yes.
And we are here to stay. You will not hear one day that Dream has closed, Dream has left. I've left the country. No. We are here to stay. And when I say we are here to stay, we are speaking about sustainability.
Yeah.
Sustainability not only for Dream or peace and development. Sustainability in each funding which comes, each project.
What do you mean by peace and development?
Peace and Development Trust is the national entity of Community of St. Egidio.
Okay.
You know Community of St. Egidio? I may say Community of St. Egidio is an international NGO. Peace and Development is a Malawian version
Okay.
of Community of St. Egidio.
Okay.
So the big umbrella
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Proceed.
so taking our program, first we don't have HSAs. You are in the Malawi, you know the role of HSAs. We do capacity building for expert clients. We call them expert clients or peer educators. Those are our friends who have come in the program very sick, living with HIV. They got treatment, they are living well. When you see them, you will not know their status. And we train them to be our HSAs. When you go to our centers, they are coordinators. They are the one welcoming. They are the one taking the health parameters. We train them, we employ them, so it's visible. When somebody comes with fear, now I've been tested, the first person you meet and who welcome you, explain, you say everything, we are taught to listen. You listen, said, okay, I understood. I'm HIV positive. The coordinator will say, I'm HIV positive. I passed through all this. And some could not believe. Because if you see how people live with HIV, that is one thing. And as a part of sustainability, we cannot speak about service without the community. They are the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
We have our community leaders. We have our chief traditional leaders. We have our religious leaders. We have mother group leaders. And we have youth group leaders. We speak about male involvement and others. All this is happening in the community.
Yeah.
And we also offer skill development trainings regarding health issues and also how to have income. Because when we speak about health, malnutrition is one of the conditions. Somebody who is malnourished, the immune system is down. HIV also breaks down the immune system.
So how are you working with, of course the ambassador is here, you might not say, well, they're giving us too little, but how are you cooperating with the German embassy or the German government in terms of providing services to people in the country?
Okay, I may say with Germany government, our journey started in 2018. 2018, they supported us in birth registration. I can see we established the foundation of birth registration in Balaka. That was from 2018 to 2021. And we all know birth registration is the open door.
It's a big thing.
To all rights.
Yeah.
If you say the kids have a right to health, how you can go to under 5? You don't know your age. Kids have a right to school. There is an age there. As a citizen, we have a right to vote, to have a passport. All these are related to birth registration. That was 2018-2021, Balaka. 2022 to 2025, we extended the birth registration to Mangoji, and to Blantyre. On top of that, you may be already aware that we are one of the countries with a high burden of cervical cancer.
Yeah.
And when we are...
You came this week, one of the issues, you came on other week, one of the things that you were talking about was cervical cancer.
Yes.
How is that connected to Germany government?
They supported us with HPV DNA testing, which is a standard goal for WHO. When you take a WHO cervical cancer elimination goals by 2030, we have 90% of our girls to be vaccinated before the age of 15, and in the country we are doing it at the age of 9 presently. And 70% should be screened with a high definition, high-tech screening method, which is HPV DNA testing. I'm speaking about WHO goals toward elimination.
Yeah.
Our country, we are working toward this, but we are motivating on the current screening method also, which is ongoing, because HPV DNA testing, the government is working on it much, and the partners, but it needs much investment.
Okay.
So they assisted us. Yeah. That one we started 2022. We have been doing, and currently we are doing in routine, thanks to them.
Yeah. I'll come to you, German ambassador, because I want to let her go at some point. On the issue of cervical cancer, Doc, there has been some concern that the focus is on women and girls, leaving the carriers that are men, because men are the carriers of HPV. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just a journalist. You are the expert in the field. So I hear men are the carriers of HPV, and women are the ones that they get the disease. But there's been some concern that the focus has only been sensitizing women and girls, vaccinating them, but the awareness towards men, towards boys, to say you've got a role to play to ensure that we end this cervical cancer in women and girls. It's not there. It's not, maybe it's there, but it's not much. How do you help me to understand this?
Okay, thank you.
Or is that not a possible, probable question to ask?
In terms of the awareness, we always move with men, young boys. We move together in awareness. Okay. Everybody is included. Okay. You are speaking about the component, HPV being sexual transmission disease.
Yes. I think
but
that's where the component
there are other factors, like early sexual initiation, which girls have to understand. Okay. What is the meaning of that regarding cervical cancer? We have an issue related to genetics, like the mother, the family has. So there are many factors. There are smoking. There are some other factors. Not only men's side, but in terms of awareness, we are targeting everybody. And depending on our context, we should focus on the men group. Awareness for others, maybe in the future, like Western countries, they started with the group of girls and women. After conquering the situation, is when they extended it to others. Yes, to other groups. Other situations.
No, well answered.
That is the.
How do you want to compliment anything, Ambassador?
No, I think that health is an issue that affects everybody, all in the community. So that's why the community outreach, and also including the traditional leaders and religious leaders, is so vital for the success of the health programs. Because you need to convince everybody, and there are, of course, changes in mindset changes in behavior that can have an effect on the health of a nation.
I may give you one of our interventions.
Please, yes.
Where we did orientation for chiefs. And how we did it, we selected some chiefs and we did like a sort of TOT, explaining whatever is important to know about the cancer program. Then later on, we organized orientation for a wider group, and the chiefs were the one conducting those trainings, if I can call training, and we were just there to answer. That is sustainability. And we have been reported, we have some of the projects which ended since 2019, but some of the religious leaders, up to date, when they finish their mass, they say, my people, remember, cancer is real. Every day, 8 women die in Malawi because you go, you get screening. So that is the sustainability. It's not to say we have moved. The money has been put, we have built the capacity, and those religious leaders, traditional, they are men who are carrying the message.
Not all, we also have females.
Yes, we have a female, but the majority of them were men. And the one I'm speaking, I'm not saying a name, he has been still doing it since 2019. Since 2019. So we are into that. And as for their program, we are combining all.
Okay.
Right, health, protection. And in all our centers, and also other centers, we are targeting like 15 facilities, where we are also having a special officer for gender-based violence. And we are also going to put a network through which all violations of rights, either it's health or what, we can have a professional to report to where it has to be, if it's health. So, and this is done in the community, by community leaders, just support by the health in the district, the DHO representative in the community.
No, you need your own 1 hour program for us to elaborate these issues. But I want to thank you, sincere Dr. Sangare Hawa,
Thank
for
you
your
so
time,
much.
and I appreciate you.
Thank you, Emmanuel, and your team, and allow me to extend our gratitude to the ambassador and to all Germany government for their support, which has been there since 2018. We don't take it for granted. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you. Before you get off the seat, let me do the protocols of the studios. And thank you very much for coming. And that's Dr. Sangare Hawa Mamare. She's the head of programs and clinical services at the Dream Center.
Yes.
And she's just explained to us how the relationship between the cooperation between German government and the organization. This is Speak Out here on MBC, and we'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to this edition of Speak Out here on MBC, and I have a guest in the program who was in the first half of our program, and Dr. Sangare Hawa Mamare has left us, and I am with the ambassador, German ambassador to Malawi, that's Her Excellency Ute Konig, who is telling us about several issues. But now I want to focus on the Germany-Malawi relations, and that's why I have her in this particular segment. You earlier talked about that Germany, since 2014, when we had the Cashgate scandal, the stance has been that you change from direct funding to government to project-based. It has been over 10 years now, more than 10 years. There's no any change of mind?
No, not for Germany. We just had government-to-government negotiations last December where we reiterated our project-based approach, but I know Germany is also a big contributor to EU funding because we are a big economy within the European Union, and I know that the EU is looking more into budget support. So some German money will come via budget support, but through the EU, not bilaterally.
What do you mean by bilateral?
Well, bilaterally is money coming straight from Germany. That's what we decide with the Malawi government, but the EU money comes through our EU procedures.
On trade and investment, your ambassador, Malawi usually exports more of tobacco and tea to Germany. Is there anything that we can do as a country in your 5 years in Malawi that you've been here as an ambassador, German ambassador to Malawi? Is there anything that we can do to increase the export base to Germany?
Well, Europe as a whole is already the single biggest market for products from Malawi. And of course you are an agrarian society, so the majority of the projects that are exported come from agriculture. But I know that through our GIZ program to help with more income and employment in the rural areas, we are also helping companies to reach out to more farmers and to increase them into their knowledge about organic farming, to help them send organic groundnuts to Europe. There are trainings for cooperatives and for smallholder farmers. So this is one way of enhancing this. Our MIRA program is helping smaller
What is
MIRA is more income and employment in rural areas. That's the acronym. Germans always love acronyms for all their projects, so you had to do a lot of learning in the beginning to find out what is what. So this is helping in the private sector to create more jobs and employment for Malawians. But of course, the diversification of your agricultural products is something that's always still under discussion, and also value addition. But I think we are also helping Malawi to increase your export base to other African countries with support for the African Free Trade Area.
There's so much of stringent measures that a product from Africa or from, especially from agriculture, can penetrate into European market. Is there any capacity building that German government is offering to Malawi in terms of this small-scale business people so that they can have their products go into the European market? And what can we do as a country?
Well, of course, it involves a lot of training on the ground. We also trained many farmers on the use of less pesticides in growing agricultural products in Malawi,
but
because
there's climate change. I mean, there's no way that you can harvest your things in Malawi or under our soils without using pesticides.
But you can use pesticides in a smart way when to apply them, that they are not within the product when it's finally harvested. No, so there are ways to decrease the pesticide use, and that's especially important sometimes for the phytosanitary rules we have in Europe. If you send food products to Europe, I know it's a long process, and there have been workshops and trainings done by GIZ, but it's a long-term issue. But I know we are also looking into value addition in the country, because that's something that would also increase the jobs in the country and also increase the profits from products that are exported. But it's an uphill battle. I would always be clear on that.
Germany once upon a time helped this country to do the survey in terms of the mining potential, where we can have mining, when we can develop mining companies, where we can develop mining activities in this country. We had that full project that German government funded, the Malawi government, to establish that. When you got to Lilongwe and you were appointed the ambassador to Malawi, did you go through the report, and did you find anything that Malawi can seriously benefit from the mining sector?
Well, we know, of course, that for the government under the Malawi Vision 2063, the ATMM strategy
Yes.
is a high priority, and this has also continued after the change of government. Also for the government of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika,
Yes.
they want to continue this, and they have the hope that mining will be a bigger contributor to your national product in the future. So under our government-to-government negotiations, we also included a new project. It will be a joint project together with the EU, where we will look more into critical raw materials, and we are discussing this with the EU and the Malawi government concerning Songwe Hill, which is also a priority under the EU Critical Raw Materials Act we have there. But it's early days for that project. The first experts have been here. They had discussions with the ministry, with the mining experts. Yes.
That's where now the patience or the understanding needs to come in. You've just said these are early days.
Well, we just decided on this in December, last December in Bonn, when we signed our government protocol. This was included, and now we had a first mission here for preliminary talks. It will develop, but you know, mining projects always take a long time. It was easier to reopen Kayelekera in the north because that was a mine that had been in existence before, and that was only mothballed when the general demand for uranium was low. But for new projects, I know that time is an issue and that there is impatience, but it's better to do it right than do it too quickly and to do it wrong.
How do you think countries such as Germany can help to support Malawi, even after Cyclone Freddy effect, to stand on our own in terms of withstanding or being resilient to the shocks of climate change?
Well, we all know that Malawi is one of the most vulnerable countries in the world, and I think the programs from the German government always have the issue to increase the resilience of the inhabitants of the country, also to help erase poverty. And one subject we talked about before was health, but also another big pillar of German development cooperation is looking at the demographics at the country. So our health side on the social and reproductive health rights is important, so that you don't have more and more people living in Malawi who might be affected by climate change, so that people can take an informed decision about how their family life would like. But we also know that very vulnerable people, they need social support. You need to cushion this, and this is done via the second pillar, the social cash transfer project, which is a big bulk from our development aid. And this is distributed through the government to districts at a local level to reach the really vulnerable. We know that Malawi has been very active in international climate talks. Malawi was head of the LDC group in the last climate conferences, and Germany is internationally known as an advocate for the fight against climate change, and we're a big contributor to the Loss and Damages Fund, and we also have set up a program with regard to the Global Shield that will allow Malawi to have access to more green climate finance projects. So we know that Malawi is not the biggest emitter, you're more at the receiving end. And as you mentioned, Cyclone Freddy, that happened shortly before I arrived in the country, but I know there were special efforts made by humanitarian help that was delivered to Malawi to fight that. And also with the lean season, we only just now had a lean season response from the KfW to the value of €5 million, with which we reached over 100,000 beneficiary households who got in March now 90,000 kwacha per household to help them alleviate this. We know that social cash is a successful program, and we have been instrumental in helping it reach all 28 districts. KfW has been a long-standing partner in developing the program, and the GIZ has also been helpful also with the social registry, so that you have data. We always need data to find out who is a really needy beneficiary on the ground. there are more projects also with regard to renewable energy, because energy is, of course, affecting many people in the country, and with more solar lights through the NDEF program, we are also helping people's life to become better, so that they also have lights, and that the children can do the schoolwork, that sometimes they can set up a little business on their own. So it's a mixture of measures that Germany takes, but we're having the climate situation in mind, and we know that Malawi is not a big emitter, but we take our responsibility on climate issues very seriously, and I know that the Malawi government has also been part in the Petersberg climate dialogues in Germany to prepare for the big COP conferences. So this will be an ongoing issue, and I know from the partnership dialogue we had with the Malawi government as the EU only last month, that also for the government, climate issues will be of vital importance.
Another area that I want to talk about is skills and education. We've seen one of the flagship programs in terms of scholarship is DAAD. What is DAAD, and what are the plans to increase the opportunities for Malawian children to...
DAAD is our worldwide German academic exchange program, and it offers bursary scholarships for studies in Germany. The majority are for master studies, so you must have a bachelor studies before.
Okay.
And there is no specific quota for Malawi students, but you have to apply to a certain program and then see the competition. So it always depends on the quality of candidates, of their motivational letters, of the courses they are applying for, how many Malawian students will be successful in the end. It's a worldwide program. DAAD
so it's open to everybody in the world.
Yes. For certain programs, they have like geographical limitations, and some programs are offered in certain languages, so of course, knowledge of a language will be a requirement on this.
Yeah. In terms of supporting technical and vocation skills, how is, when you came in 2023, when you sat at the particular chair in your office, how has German been the partner in Malawi, in terms of enhancing skills and technical development?
Well, we have been a partner in basic education for many years, and as I'm personally a child of an education success story in my family, I was the first woman to go to university.
Wow.
I was very sorry when one of my first tasks was to finally hand over a bilateral program that was stopped after 30 years. We were helping with teacher training colleges, with curricular development, but we're still into technical training, and we are still having an expert that's with the TVETA, and we know that TVETA is also thinking now of expanding the technical vocational training opportunities in Malawi. So we are advising on that, and on the education side, because you asked before what is bilateral, what is multilateral, there are still education funds coming to Malawi, but they are coming via a global program to which the German government contributes funds now.
How do you assess Malawi progress on anti-corruption and, of course, human rights and judicial independence?
When I came here, the judicial independence was highly praised, and your judiciary had just won international rewards from Chatham House. And then when I read some bishop letters, I had the feeling that there are parts of the judiciary that were accused of having problems. But I know the judiciary has to be independent, so I won't go deeper into that now.
Those are diplomatic cables that you guys...
No, Emmanuel, because but we are working with the judiciary. We have been supporting, for example, the Financial Crimes Unit a lot with training.
In what area? In what areas?
With training, with material to help them make their investigations more substantive, because that's also a follow-up from the Cashgate scandal. With the concerns to corruption, that's of course also on our agenda. Our GIZ has been working with the Anti-Corruption Bureau. We have discussed with them the development of a Whistleblower Act. There was a media handbook, to train also in primary schools young kids on how to see and to know what corruption is, to enhance a change of mindset there. And then human rights, we have been together in the Human Rights Commission in Geneva as members, and there was a close cooperation on issues that are affecting resolutions in Geneva, and we are in close contact here with civil societies on the ground. We were partnering with some of them on the ground, also with the help of civic education in preparation for the democratic election, because civic voter education was important. So there were projects that received grants from Germany, and I want to stress that all the German project money is always grant money, so we are not increasing any debt burden by the government, but a grant for all MBC viewers is like a present. It comes with no strings attached, so it's not linked, but of course a country with which we share democratic values, where we have good partnerships, has always better arguments for development aid to be provided.
In 4 years' time, we could be going for another general elections. How do you think our democratic institutions need to be strengthened in terms of their operations?
No, it will be, of course, continued education that is necessary in primary and secondary education. You will have to look at certain rules that have not been totally implemented, like the role of the registrar in looking into claims on handouts and party financing. And of course, as a female ambassador, also the question of how you get more female MPs elected, how you get more females interested in political life, so that the Women's Manifesto goal of a 50-50 participation can be reached. I hope that on this education and continuous discussion about the subjects will have an effect.
How do you define handouts in German?
In Germany, we don't have this tradition of handouts. A handout in the German election campaign will be a small pen, something you get when you cross a party campaign stand on a marketplace, or you'll get a small flyer saying, these are our 5 main political ideas we want to challenge. We don't have Chitenius in Germany, and you don't get transport costs if you attend a party convention at all. So, and there's normally no money for food provided at all. So I know that here in the Political Parties Act, some things are included from handouts, but we saw reports in the media also that cash was handed out, covering maybe more than just food and transport. No. So this is something, all cash donations to political parties are strictly regulated, and we just had a court decision that a party who received a big anonymous donation had to return it and give it to the parliament, that they could not accept it because it was against German party financing laws, which are very strict. You have to be very open on who gives which sum of money, and you have to make a list daily, and it's public. It's about transparency and accountability if you give money to parties, because there are always strings attached, and political influence can be wielded if you support a certain party now.
When you sit down, how can you reflect? How has media performed, and how is media freedom in this country?
I think you're doing relatively well, and I said so, Emmanuel. We were together in Salima at the MISA Media Award ceremony, and I was quoting that recent report where I think Malawi scored place 69 out of 180 countries worldwide. I could see so many stories in Malawi about corruption cases, about misuse of funds, about scandals. So I cannot say that there is no media freedom. I see the bigger challenge here in the resource question for the media, whether people can get meaningful employment within the media. I know there have been cases, and I personally know Mr. Gonve, where people did have to leave the country after a certain story was published, but these stories have been the exception, and these stories have not been, they have been open in the media, so they've raised other questions, they've raised the alarm, so I think comparing it is okay. Of course, everybody would like to be among the top 10, but even Germany didn't make it. I think we are only on place 14.
What people have complained is that when you write too negative stories about your country, you reduce levels of investment in the particular country, and so that has got an effect, sort of. How do you share that particular thought?
Well, I think it would really be unfair to blame the media for not enough foreign direct investment in Malawi, because really you must say that not everybody is interested in investing in agriculture, and the conditions for investing in Malawi could be more favorable. We know that there are forex issues, that you have to return money to the Reserve Bank, and it's very hard, even if you make a profit in this country, and I know this from a company with links to Germany, to get foreign reserve to leave the country. And if a foreign company invests, they invest to make a profit. They are not a development donor, they don't do it out of charity, but they want to do business. And once they have a profit, because they are a foreign company, they also want to take home part of their profits. And then if you can only get kwacha and you cannot exchange them due to foreign forex difficulties, that makes it very hard to lobby for foreign investment. But I don't think that that's that's the responsibility of the media. That's more for the government to see how to invigorate the sector, whether there can be tax incentives, how things are done. But an investor who sees a potential in Malawi will not be hindered by a negative story in the media. And we all know, as media experts, you know, it's bad news that sells. In Germany, there have been projects that they say, oh, we only tell nice stories, the good news stories, but people don't want to read them. They don't click. So it's a vicious circle, I know. But the journalists also have an obligation to hold the politics accountable, but also to be ethical in their journalism. You heard my speech, Emmanuel. We don't have time for me to repeat everything.
Yeah. But I want to understand from the perspective of a developing country.
Yeah.
That because Germany is a developed country. I mean, in terms of them writing things about their country, it's already there. But I'm talking about these countries that are just developing. If the journalists or the producers or program makers are advocating for negative news always in their platforms, in their channels, does that have an effect in terms of levels of investment in that particular country?
I think it's more the ground conditions, that you have a good product, that you have low labor costs, that you have security on the legal side, that it's possible to acquire land or to rent land if you want to go into agriculture production, that you don't have to need too many permits to export or to import things. So I think that these barriers make foreign direct investment much harder than media articles. But that's my personal opinion.
I hear you. Finally, let's talk about the tourism.
Yes.
How do you think, as Malawi, are doing in terms of promoting our country to investors or to people that can, the tourists that can come here and visit our country? And how do you think we can make it?
Well, Malawi, of course, has the priority to advance tourism, and we as German Development Corporation are also exploring that and assisting us. GIZ was helping tourism companies from Malawi to attend one of the big tourism fairs in Germany, the ITB, the International Tourism Fair there. So I know that with your slogan, Warm Heart of Africa, you're talking the truth. As an ambassador in this country, I would say you have a beautiful country, you have beautiful, warm-hearted people who really make many expats fall in love with the country, and we know of tourists who just saw the needs in the country, and then they collected money afterwards and set up small projects in the countries, and they set up associations in Germany. But
And
as
how
an
are you
ambassador,
helping?
I must also say there will be more investment needed into road safety, because
Okay.
the roads currently are in a state that, especially for tourists coming from Europe, now to do self-drive, and that's normally in African countries, that's always a big thing if you don't have a tour operator that does a bus tour. And here in Malawi, I know from the offers I saw in the tourism websites, it's more self-drive tours. But it's really hard, and it takes a long time to go from one place to the other. So tourists only come for a limited period of time, like 1 to 2 weeks. And if they have to spend too much time on very bad roads, that's getting frustrating for them.
No.
It also frustrates me sometimes as an ambassador.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Any final remark before I release you, Your Excellency?
No, thank you so much, Emmanuel. I think it was good. I'm sure I forgot many things I still wanted to highlight about the good cooperation we have with Malawi, and about pilot projects we started in this country that were successful. But we are a good, reliable partner, and even if sometimes projects have a limited lifespan and they are finished at some time, I think Germany as a partner, we are communicating this well in advance, and there are official handovers, so there are no stop orders from our side intended.
Thank you so much, and that's Her Excellency, the German ambassador to Malawi, Ute Konig. She is our ambassador from Germany to Malawi, and she was here with Dr Sangare Hawa, who is the head of programs and clinical services at DREAM, at Peace and Development Trust or Center here in Malawi, talking to us about their relationship or their cooperation between Germany and the organization. But in the final segment of our program, we are zeroing in on Germany and Malawi relations, and the ambassador has elaborated so many issues. And I want to thank you sincerely, Your Excellency, for coming to Blantyre and for coming to our studios to have this conversation.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for having me. And congratulations again on your award at the Misa ceremony.
No, thank you so much. It was on ECD, on early childhood development, where a woman who has triplets managed to breastfeed her children for 6 months, and the children were very healthy.
She must have good nutrition to do that.
Yeah. And that's what you guys,
that's what we're also teaching, yes.
Great
Food
stuff.
and nutrition are also on our agenda.
Yeah. No,
I
thank you.
forgot that, I knew.
No, next time in another edition.
Next time I'll bring a big sheet of paper to show
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. My name is Emmanuel Twala, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for listening to Speak Out here on NBC. Until next time, it's goodbye.